Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. Cindy here from CLB Craft Creations, and this is the card project that we're making today. It's actually a super quick card and has very little stamping, but I think the designer series paper is really what takes this card up a notch in my opinion. This is the English Garden designer series paper, and there's such beautiful colors and prints in this paper. You can pretty much make your card based on those. So that's kind of what I've done with this card. I've used the colors in the paper to determine obviously the rest of my card pieces. So we're going to be using the English Garden designer series paper. We're also going to be using the Tin of Cards set. We're using the Happy Birthday. And this has become one of my go-to sets for sentiments. This and the Crazy About You are probably my favorite, just because there's many options. This one's very nice because it also offers the script lettering, which is a nice little touch too. So let's get started. Like I said, it's pretty quick. Our card base is a piece of Hello Honey, which is cut at 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25, standard. We also have a piece of Whisper White, which is cut at 4 by 5.25. That's going to be our inside piece. We have a piece of our designer series paper, which is cut at 4.75 by 3.5. So that's going to layer. It's going to leave a nice big border around there. We're also going to be using some Mossy Meadow, and we have our punches. And I also have another. This is a 1-inch wide strip of Whisper White that we are going to pen at the end after we get our sentiment on it. So let's go ahead and we can start assembling a portion of this. I have a strip of the designer series paper that I'm going to run down the side here. So just take your snail. Just kind of adds a little touch to the inside of your card that carries through the color scheme on the outside. And we're just a little bit over here, so I'm just going to trim that up so it's nice and neat. Okay, we're going to add that with our snail. Put that on the inside of our card. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and layer our piece of designer series paper. Okay, that's just going to be centered in the middle. Now we're going to take a piece of, this is just a scrap piece of Mossy Meadow. I'm going to take my scallop punch that out. You could use a circle if you'd prefer. I thought with the flowers it seemed more fitting for me to do a scallop instead of a circle. I'm also, while I've got my Mossy Meadow out, I'm also going to go ahead and punch out one of the itty bitty butterflies. Have that ready for us. And now our stamping, so we can put these aside for right now. For our stamping, like I said, this is just a 1-inch wide strip. You can make it as long as you want. We're going to pen at the end anyway. So I'm using Mossy Meadow. This would also look really pretty, I think, with, I'm using Hello Honey. I think it would look very pretty with Mossy Meadow as well. Now I went ahead and already mounted my stamps, and what I did, I'm going to put them on separately, just that way I can line them up a little bit easier. And one trick you can do is you can line up the words on your grid mat. Take a little wedge of paper from top to bottom, and you want to push it. You just kind of shove it till it rests, and then you can pick it up with your block. I know that's probably sounds a little daunting, but I know that we're all trying to get these, we always try to get our words perfectly straight, and I'm probably going to have to get my head in the camera here so I can get this in here. Now I'm lining this up, from centering it from top to bottom. I'm stamping the birthday first because I know that how far I want that away from the side of my pennant. Okay, and then straight down and straight up. And now I'm just going to go back in with my happy. And again, you just want to center from top to bottom, and hopefully you leave enough room in between. Now that's not straight. I'm actually going to try and do that again. It's hard to actually, I don't want to put my head in the camera because then you can't really see what I'm doing. But it's hard to do it when you're not right on top of it. Alright, so let's try. I'm going to have to get probably my head in here. Do my best. That's better. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Alright, now we're going to take a square punch. If you have the triple banner punch, by all means use that. I don't have it, so I would typically just trim up the middle and cut from the sides, but because this is such a large piece, I am actually going to use my square punch. And so I'm basically going to take that and I'm going to see where my words are, and then I'm just going to pull it back and make sure that I'm creating a nice equal pennant. There you go. That's a little close to the words, but that's okay. Because, I mean, that's fine. It's going to go across the front of the card anyway, so. Okay, so let's do some dimensionals. We'll add dimensionals to the scallop. Get that on the card, and I have it just down here in the right corner. Whatever, you could certainly also put it in the middle if you'd like to put it in the middle. I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of our pennant as well. Two should do. Make sure I use the right one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up. I'm going to center it in between my scallop, but then I'm going to line the edge up with the edge of the Designer Series paper. Okay. Now I also am going to use my basic rhinestones. I'm going to use the small ones, the strips. I'm just going to take 3. Put those on the center. Attempt to put them on the center. We're always a little bit left to center, aren't we? Okay, those are definitely not on there straight. Alright, now we'll take a glue dot and we will add that to our card, and our card will be done. I think this is a very easily adaptable card for displaying your Designer Series paper, because that basically makes your card. So think about the pretty papers that you have and how you can showcase them, because you always have a hard time cutting into them. I do. I love my Designer Series papers, so I don't ever want to cut them. I want to save all of them. But that's not the point of getting them, so we want to share them with others. So anyway, this is a great way to kind of show those and basically knock out a bunch of cards with just one sheet of paper. So there is our finished card project. Bring in my original. So look through your stash of Designer Series paper, especially if you have the old retired sets. I mean, there's some beautiful papers, and you can make some really quick cards. So hope you liked today's card project. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel so you get updates whenever I post new videos, and leave me a comment. Thanks guys, see you soon.